But what's up with you? How are things?
Things are good. Yeah, so the kid got the docs in on Saturday. The kids had practice yesterday, and then we found out today that they don't have practice at the boathouse. It's too bad. Yesterday they didn't even get to go out. They were spending their whole time working on boats and stuff, and yesterday would have been the perfect day to be out there, but
Yeah, it was nice yesterday.
I know it's been a long winter, so they can't wait. I mean, I can't tell you how many times my kids were like, "We're so excited to be on the water tomorrow, all weekend," or it's on Monday. But it'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, we went out yesterday and the flow was up. So
Mm,
like I think it was like at 8,000 maybe yesterday, but it wasn't too bad. And then Sunday was beautiful, but we didn't go out.
mm,
We don't practice on Sunday. And then Saturday we didn't go out. We 2K'd
hmm.
and I forget why. Oh, the flow was like 10,000.
Oh yeah.
Well, the weather was okay, but it was like really, really fast. Yeah, Friday we went out and I got stuck, the launch I was using. So they brought like because we had three launches in, like so
Hmm.
there's like a wakeless, there's like a flat two and two flat bottoms. And
Hmm.
so the head coach uses the wakeless, and then I use one of the flat bottoms, and then the men's coach uses one of the flat bottoms. But then we had like a volunteer coach who was available, so she came and so they put in like a V-hull style launch. Oh my gosh, like I did not have enough ballast. So
Mm.
it's like this the whole time. It's so frustrating. I'm like, and you try to lean forward, you try to like, you throw in life vests into the bottom of it. Like I had one bucket like one jug of ballast, but that was not enough. Like so I drove that same launch yesterday and I got like two more things of ballast. And I think I could probably do one more and then it'll be just right. Because it's a big launch. Like, I mean, you
Okay.
probably like it's got like two like full size benches and
Mm.
then like the bench in the back to sit on to actually drive. So like you could drive like five or six people around in this thing. So by yourself, it's just this the whole time in your face.
And then with the ballast, can you keep up? Does it slow you down at all, or?
Well, I was out with the four. I was out with like a novice four, so like speed wasn't an issue. But I could imagine that like once like if I have put all that ballast in there, like
Mm.
once I'm at speed, like I won't be able to keep up with like an eight, especially like
Mm.
maybe like an eight against the current because it's like so much resistance. Plus you got all this ballast. Plus you're trying to go fast, so yeah, I probably would have a hard time with that. So I got stranded on Friday and they had to come and get me. And like I floated like all the way through the S turn. Like so
Hmm.
people are familiar with the Genesee. Like I floated from the top of the S turn all the way down to the bottom before someone came to rescue me.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah. Yeah, I was like in the trees, like 'cause it
Oh,
was like the current kept pushing me and
yeah.
I couldn't get the boat to like face like it was easier to control with the bow into the the current and so but that made it hard to kind of like steer where I was going, but I could go straighter that way. So it was like so I was just trying to stay out of the trees and not like get stuck. So by the time the person who was going to come and get me could just grab my rope and we'd be off and back to the dock. But I probably could have floated back to the dock pretty quickly. Like it was that much flow. So it's just tough because I take out like if I take out the novices, like you want to have eyes on them the whole time. So I was panicking because they like it cut off like right when I sent them off to do a piece, and they had gone like I was in the S turn, but they had gone and left the S turn, so I couldn't tell them like wait
Hmm.
up and stay with me, and so I had to call the other coaches and be like, can you go gather them and bring them
Hmm.
back to me? And yeah, so. But other than that, like I've knock on wood, I had been having good luck with the launches. Like I hadn't like I don't know how you feel about like it's so finicky sometimes. Like you'll get a launch that like my favorite is when someone just says, "Oh, there's a trick to that one." I'm like, "All right. No, 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 no. Like you can't pay me enough money to be driving around in a launch that has a trick to it. Like or something that like or where the little lift up thing doesn't work.
Right.
And like you
Or you
got
have to use a stick or
it's just like a
something.
stick in there, or they got the engine pole in that
Yeah.
particular launch, or like the lights too. Like I'm like, I need lights. Like I don't want my lights to not work. Like I like to be official out there. My kill switch, like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy my own. So it there for anybody who needs one as a coach out there, they're $6 on Amazon. You get the universal kill switch. You got your own in your pocket, so you don't have to go search for it because it's like the one thing that people like will totally take out of the launch. And then you're just like, where's the kill switch? And I'm like, I don't want to be driving around in a launch without a kill switch. Like,
Hmm.
no, thank you. Like, I don't want that to be the reason like I got run over by an engine or something because I didn't wear a $6 piece of plastic. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So, but it's been fun. It's been early.
Yeah. What time do you have to leave the house?
I wake up at 4:45 and I leave the house at about 5:15. So
Okay.
that gets me there, like that gets me there like first person. Like so it just gives me time because like I can open up the doors, I can open up the gates, I can pull up the garage, I can go get my survival suit on. It gives me time to like put my stuff in the locker and like find a megaphone and then, gather like all the supplies because the launches stay in the water, but you have to bring the supplies down every time. So like the life jackets, the paddle, the lights, what else? The first aid kit, um,
Hmm.
megaphone,
Seat pad?
seat pad, like like so you've got like 100 things like hanging off
Yeah.
of you as you walk down, and then if we're sending out 4 launches, that means like times four. So I try to be nice and get gas for every get as much gas as I can carry down and grab as many things as I can carry down, but because it does help the process along.
Hmm.
But
What
yeah.
time do the athletes get there?
They get there about at like maybe 5 to 6 or 10 to 6. Like, I mean, they're rolling in at about 6 o'clock. So
Hmm.
one of the other teams, like they were like on the water at 5:45. I was like, ooh, good for you guys. But I mean, that's oh, just to be like ready, like launches in, and they had trouble with their launch. I felt bad for them too because they gotten there early and everybody was out, and then like their launch wouldn't start, and oh my gosh. That's the worst thing as a coach is
Yeah.
a finicky launch. But I'm getting used to the early mornings. I can't say that I'm not tired, like I'm tired.
Hmm. Yeah. I know. You've been up for hours at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm tired. And then like
Hmm.
they're like, oh, it doesn't interfere with my evening, but it does because you got to go to bed early. So like around 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm like, I've got to wrap this up. I've got to pull out my clothes for the next day. I got to figure out like today. Some Tuesdays I'll shower in the morning before I go to practice because like I won't have enough time to get home, but today we weren't on the water because there were thunderstorms this morning.
Hmm.
So I knew that I would be able to leave practice right at 8. I'd be able to get home at 8:30 to do this, and then I'd have time to take a quick shower and then go over to the clinic to see my clients. So um I don't know when I'm going to exercise today.
Welcome to my world, Adrian.
I know, I know. I'm like, it may not happen today. It may not happen. Like I
Yeah.
had put it in my mind. I'm like, if I woke up at 4
Right?
and
I know.
I did my workout. I mean, what's good is on Mondays and Wednesdays I teach class. So
Hmm.
I definitely get my workout in on Monday and Wednesday because I'm gonna go right from practice to class. So
Yeah.
it's a good built-in exercise day. But Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I've been doing a little bit of evening workouts, which
Hmm.
is not my favorite, but I've been trying
Hmm.
to get it done. So yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to our podcasts that released, and that's what I was talking about. That was the one where I was, recommending your like half an hour workout program 5 times a week or something, because
Yep.
it's very challenging. Yeah. Life fills up very quickly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And with the weather getting better, I find that I'm moving more, but I'm not moving
Hmm.
more like like I'm not getting more exercise in. I'm getting more steps in. I'm getting more flights of
Hmm.
stairs and that kind of stuff. But um
Hmm.
yeah, it's just tough. It's tough to like figure out all the time. Like and
Yeah.
then sometimes I'm like I'm watching them exercise and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I exercise." And I'm like, "No, I watch people exercise today.
Yeah. 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 But are you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. It is fun. I
Good.
mean, like I think
Yeah.
the early mornings are tough. Like it's
Yeah.
just yeah, I'm hoping like in the next week or two I'll like really accommodate to it. Like I'm sort of kind of accommodated to it. And I think the other thing is like I think right now my sinuses are bothering me. So like I don't know if it's allergies or just like the tail end of whatever I had when we got back from South Carolina. That was like more like a chest cold. This is kind
Mhm.
of like very like in my nose. So I don't know if I'm just kind of run down or I don't know. But I
Yeah.
usually am not a sick, like I don't get sick all the time. And like so like the first 3 months of 2025, I've been sick. So
I know. I realized in the last podcast that we just listened to, so this is going to come out like weeks and weeks and weeks
oh yeah,
after
this will
that
come
one.
out. Yeah,
So
yeah,
this
we're
won't
fine.
seem as like relevant to the people listening if you're listening week to week, but the one that we just launched was like I said, the one, let's see what else we were talking about. You were talking about the Bahamas, your idea and everything, and you had just gotten back from your trip, and I find myself laughing at you while you're talking about being sick. Now, I'm not watching it, so I don't know why I'm laughing. It's probably just me awkwardly laughing, but I apologize on the record. I didn't mean to laugh at you for being sick.
Oh, no, no, it's I don't know what it is.
I'm laughing.
I just don't, yeah, I just don't like I don't think
Mm.
of myself as a sick person. Like I don't like it like when someone's sick in my house, like it doesn't go around our whole house. Like we're usually like really good about that. And like these last 3 months, not so much. Like I don't know what 2026 is trying to do to us, but it's yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that like this is it. Like this is all the sickness I'm gonna do this year. I can't do anymore.
There you go. Get it out of your system.
Get out of my system.
So you had a topic you wanted to talk about today, and we do have to keep on time today.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
did you
I
want to talk
wanted
about it?
yeah, I wanted to talk about I was talking to our head coach and he was talking about how Division 1 college programs offer more scholarships now. So I don't know if it's more like a Title IX thing or they're just kind of matching up or like I don't know, scholarships have expanded. So it puts the squeeze on like D3 programs because there's just more opportunity to go somewhere where you could potentially get some scholarship money for your rowing skills. So I wanted to like ask you about this and see if this
Mhm.
was something that like as you know as you were walking through the process with your daughter that you may have noticed or um yeah that was
Yeah.
my question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. So it actually has to do with a settlement with the House and NCAA, and it has to do with NIL. So name, what does it
Name,
stand
image,
for?
likeness.
Yes. So it is, and it's a trickle down or kind of like indirect thing that relates to rowing because if there's only one pot of money, if they need to provide more money for their athletes that are the revenue athletes, that
Yeah.
money is going to come from other places. And a lot of times it's coming from those under, like the lesser known sports. So it's funny how this is working with rowing because in some specific situations, it can increase the amount of scholarships. In others, it's actually taken the opposite effect,
Oh.
where it's taken away scholarship spots or roster spots for some rowers. And I've heard about this from a family that I know who had a daughter or still has a daughter, but she thinks she's still rowing at I don't know what conference it is, but they were negatively impacted by this. So they had to cut, they were doing cuts every week. And the daughter was calling home and telling her parents like she had made it through the cuts. So I think it's important to know that this is kind of an interesting thing that isn't always going to be straightforward. And I don't think it's a direct thing that now there's more opportunities to row at Division 1. I think you're going to see it where maybe in some the have-nots and haves are going to be like the rest of the world. It's gonna You're going to see a bigger gap that we're going to find. So the Texases, the Stanfords, the ones that are always at the top, they're going to remain at the top, and it's going to be really hard to touch them eventually. Like in the next few years, I think they're just going to keep getting stronger, faster, more support. And then like the Division 1 teams that are barely Division 1, like they're probably competing against other Division 3, like similar times.
Mhm.
They're gonna be the ones that are gonna feel more of the pinch than Division 3. I mean, this is all just based on the little research I did, but because I was so excited to dive into this topic
Yeah.
and also kind of talk about our experience, how it related to this, because I think the positive side for Division 3 programs is that they're not directly affected by this because they don't give scholarships for athletes.
Yep.
So there's a lot less chaos that the coaches are dealing with at the Division 3 in terms of like dealing with all of this and figuring out how it impacts them. Because some of this I don't think is even decided yet. Some have said that roster sizes, okay, it has to be 60, it could be 68, which could be more scholarships for some, but could also mean roster cuts, like we talked about, because some teams take on like 100, like 100, more than 100, and
Yeah.
they have them. They're not necessarily scholarship rowers. They may be walk-ons, but this is their kind of their feeder program to like build up their program, right? And then kind of some people will make it, some people won't, kind of what your cousin experienced,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So that is like going to be probably impacted because they're going to have a limit not only to how many scholarships, but to their roster sizes. And so they're going to have to navigate that. So the coaches' attention is going to be so divided at the Division 1, trying to figure out how this impacts them, whatever they're normally doing, and recruiting.
Yep.
Because recruiting, again, to keep competitive is going to be so crucial that it's going to be really challenging to be a Division 1 coach in this new landscape. And then for the Division 3, there's just more stability. Nothing has changed in terms of like this impacting it. Um, Although maybe like the head coach was talking about indirectly, but I guess it's all in like focusing on what is good about it and like trying to tap into that, like being more consistent and really focusing on like the fact that some people are just not going to want to deal with the chaos. Like they're going to start realizing that like the gap is bigger. So do I want that? Can I even compete with that? Or do I just want to row in college? And you're going to find that if people are not needing or wanting to look for the scholarship, they're just looking for the opportunity to row. Division 3 is where it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like, and I can kind of see that because like in our experience, Hannah's definitely not at that top level, she's just not, and she wasn't looking for it either. So I think, what you saw at the Division 3 is Division 3 coaches can't necessarily offer the monetary benefits, but they can create a sense of culture. They can um they can make sure athletes are coming to them for the right reasons, meaning the academics fit for those students.
Yep.
That unfortunately that meant for a lot of the schools Hannah was looking at, even if she really loved the team and she really loved the coach, it would be twice as much money to go there than somewhere else. So that reality is just going to be there. Like
Yep.
there's nothing the coach can do about it, is what I'm saying. Like they can't, throw a couple of extra thousand or whatever her way. Like it's just going to be what it is. And I think you just got to figure out like I think that the coaches just kind of figure out, okay, so this is a good fit academically, like get the kids on campus. I think taking advantage of as many offering as many on-campus visits as you can, I think is the key. And I saw that with our experience. Like even if you couldn't offer an official visit, if you can just try to make sure the athletes know when events are happening, when it's easy for like if a Division 3 coach is listening to this, like really promoting opportunities for those people that are showing interest to be on campus, invite them into your boathouse, make sure that there's times when they can meet the team, having meals with the team. I mean, that might be a little bit more on the official visit side, but I know Hannah did unofficial visits and she was welcome to have lunch with the team at the dining hall. This is what's going to create those relationships that's going to make it really hard for kids to not want to go there if it's the right fit.
Yep.
So that's where I think the gold mine is for the Division 3. I think you got a lot more consistency at that level, as I think Division 1's going to be a little bit of a nightmare for the next few years, to be honest.
Wow.
Sorry, that was me going off on like the little research I did before our
Oh
talk,
no,
but
that I mean that's amazing. And like, I was thinking about like just what like our head coach talks about, and he talks about like creating the environment, creating the culture, being a good fit, like being a good academic fit, like when you're at a school, you're there because you want to be there and you're there because you're interested in your major and you're studying something that's engaging and you're doing rowing, like it's like he was talking about how like your mind is being challenged, but you're also being challenged in a physical way. And so like as a total person, you're growing, like
yeah.
you're learning. And like I don't know how like for some of the, other sports, you don't know if you get that growth and learning at the same time. Like imagine like a basketball where you can go to a different school every year and like you're basically not getting that growth and that learning at the same time. You're basically just trying to go from one team to the other to make
Mhm.
your chances better to go professional. So, in a niche sport like us, like being able to like in a Division 3 environment, being able to provide physical growth and, mental growth at the same time, it's a win-win.
Mm.
And there isn't that pressure, like you said, the chaos of like I'm on scholarship, I might lose my scholarship. Like
Right.
would be catastrophic. Like I couldn't imagine what
Yeah.
that's like. And I know that when UB lost its program that that happened to a lot of people that they were there on scholarship and like what are you gonna do? Are you
Mhm.
gonna stay? Are you gonna go somewhere else? Like yeah, I could imagine that that could be unless your goal is like, yes, I'm rowing Division 1 and I'm, want to be fast. I want to be going to, national team speed orders and doing the whole thing. Like, yeah, if you just want to row, Division 3 is
Mhm.
going to be where it's at. So very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I think it's an exciting time to be
Yeah.
in Division 3 rowing, but I know it's hard, and I feel like the recruiting game is like just like ramping up, like on how people recruit and the difference, like the differences I saw. Like my daughter is the same person as she is, right? And some of the programs that she's looking at were pretty comparable in terms of speed, results, and all that, but the vast difference in how people approach recruiting. And I think a lot of it makes a huge difference in
Yeah.
like, how a person looks at the school. Some of it you have to take with a grain of salt. Like you have to kind of make sure that that, even if this person is an amazing recruiter, like, are they still a great coach? Are they still like, is it a great school? Is the program the right fit for you? Like all of that. You still have to keep all of that in mind. You can't be like sold. You
Yeah.
have to be a savvy buyer,
Yeah.
but I think it does all make a real difference because it's not, I think if they're recruiting with the mindset that they're creating relationships, I think that's where it made a difference. And I see like again, she might not have been the fastest person on their list of recruits. But I think she also has potential, and potential can look different to different people.
Yeah.
And also, you might want people on your team that, different kinds of rowers, right? You need different types of people on your team. There was something on, I don't know, I saw something where they were saying, there's somebody who just wants to be part of something bigger than themselves, wants to contribute and make the team a better experience. There's people who are going to make that boat fast. And then there's, the people that are still kind of early on and have a lot of potential to grow in a lot of different ways. So that's the hard part, right? Is trying to figure out and read the tea leaves and try and figure out like who those athletes are that haven't met their highest potential yet. Um, because we did find there's a lot of coaches that did a lot of reaching out, a lot of emails that were just like you could tell like standardized, like everybody's getting the same one, but you getting like an email 2 or 3 times a week.
Wow.
Um, and it gets a little overkill at some point, and then there's other ones that take the time and reach out and ask how your practices are going, or they ask targeted questions like, tell me about one of your hardest practices this week. So it really invites that conversation and doesn't seem like you're just like sending out the same email to like hundreds of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then as much as possible, trying to get those people on campus, like working in college admissions for years, working for, advising for years and being parts of our admissions events, like you got to get kids to your campus. And like with the nice thing with rowing is that you usually have multiple things to show them. You have the on-campus facilities that all the athletes use. You've got your boathouse usually, you know, and then like you got a bunch of things to show off of, hopefully. So,
Yeah. What was your favorite visit? I think we've touched on, I think I asked what your favorite boathouse was, but what was your
yeah.
favorite like overall visit, like how the coach kind of set it up and
Mhm. Well, I will make a shout out to Washington College. So Carrie's great. She's the head coach there. She really put the work in with her athletes. The way she organizes it, or the team organizes it, is that they have actually rowers that are part of their recruiting group, I guess. She has her captains. I don't think it always is the captains, but um, she's got rowers that are in charge of the social media. She's got her recruiting group. She's got her captains. Like different people on the team have different jobs. Um, and the recruiting team put together like Hannah's plan for the day. And they sent it to her. They sent, they made recommendations for like if we were in town. Of course, we got there and it was like 10 o'clock at night. So we didn't get to enjoy any of the local places to enjoy, but they did put together like their favorite restaurants, their favorite stores, their favorite, coffee shops. And they even put, their favorite hotels slash like bed and breakfast. They're really like bed and breakfasts are kind of big where that college is. And then they figured out based on what her interest is in major, which athlete she was going to go to class with, and who was going to take her, to practice, who was going to take her to the lunch, and then they all eat together and all of that. So it was all like planned out. And that was not just for her official visit. That was in junior year, she did an unofficial visit, and it was very similar, very like, and also included us in the emails so that we knew because we're the ones that were driving her down. We knew where she needed to be. Yeah, so I think that was, and plus they have really cool facilities to show off too. So, and it's a beautiful place. So yeah, they did a great job. I will say, another one that we really enjoyed was Ithaca. Ithaca did a good job. Uh, it was their accepted student slash open house. So it wasn't like an official visit, but the coach really persuaded her to come check it out. She had already been accepted. Um, and he invited us to come see the boathouse. And the one thing they did was they asked her a bunch of questions about like unique things about her or what, just fun facts about Hannah. And so she sent that to them with a picture. And then they had these posters on their boathouse, like whiteboard that said, wanted, you're wanted for our team. And then they had like all their fun facts. And there was like 4 or 5 other recruits that were there the same day. And so you got to kind of read all of their fun facts and pictures and where they were from.
Oh,
Um, and then during like there wasn't a lunch, but like a kind of like a relaxing snack portion of the day, we got to talk to the rest of the team and some of the other recruits and parents and get to know them. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's good. I mean, you need to kind of do those things. You need to be there and kind of
Mhm.
experience it. And it's like you can't get the vibe over a phone call or, you
That's
know,
usually where it starts though.
yeah. Yeah, but if it's not the same as like kind of like being in practice. We've had a couple recruits practice, and so I felt bad because one recruit came this past Saturday and it was 2K.
Mhm.
And so they did their warm up, they did their 2K, everybody's happy, people PR'd, blah, blah, blah. And then the coach was like, "Oh, we're gonna do it again."
What?
And the recruit looked at me, she's like, "Are they gonna do the whole thing again?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it's okay." Like I totally didn't know that it was gonna be like a repeat, but like it made sense because
Okay.
next weekend they're gonna be racing at Ithaca. They'll be racing multiple times. So that's
Mhm.
kind of like it was like a racing multiple time preparation kind of thing.
Okay.
And but like in between the
Mhm.
first because we practice for like on Saturdays practice goes 3 hours. So there was plenty of time.
Okay.
So the kids had done this March matchness thing, which is a fundraiser.
Mhm.
And so they were writing all the people who had donated, they wrote them like little cards. So they spent like a half hour doing that. So that was like kind of in between and then they did the workout again. So and I mean not there wasn't anybody who PR'd the second workout, but
Mhm.
there were plenty of people who did just as well. Um
Wow.
first versus the second. So but it was interesting to see the team's reaction. Like nobody was like the culture, like the head coach has been working a lot on culture, and nobody was upset. That found
Mhm.
it to be kind of like, like a personal challenge. It wasn't like, he wasn't like, do it again because I want to see it better. Like it was more like, this is an opportunity for growth. We're gonna be doing this anyway next weekend.
Yeah.
You're gonna row a 2K in one boat. You're gonna come
Mhm.
back to the shore. You're gonna have some time, and then you're gonna get back in there and you're gonna do it again. So, just trying to take the pressure off of the 2K. And
Mhm.
like, he's like, if I had told you we were doing 3,500 or if we were doing thousands or if we were doing, it's like, you guys we wouldn't have conceptualized it the same as
Mhm.
but once you say 2K, it's like, oh gosh, it's the 2K. So he was trying to work on mental framing for
Mhm.
for the piece. So but I was excited to see that they weren't like, "Oh my gosh, no." They were like, okay, like, all right, we're gonna take a little break and then we're gonna do it again. And
Mhm.
they came to the challenge, in a positive way, which was really good. And I think that's what he was aiming for, is trying to
Yeah.
think about it positively. So
I'm just thinking of that recruit going back to their high school team and be like, they had to do two games.
yeah, she turned to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to do it again." I'm like, "Okay, like,
Yeah.
we're not doing it immediately. It's not like we're turning
Mhm.
right back around and doing it. We're gonna take a little bit of time off, get a little, they gotta write all the thank you cards and
Mhm.
um, just really framing for what's gonna happen next week because everybody's gonna race twice. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually that's another different like I mean maybe they do it at Division 1, but I definitely follow a lot of different rowing accounts at different divisions. And it's a lot of the Division 3s that do those match days or like the day of giving days, you know. And that the nice thing is that that's going to their team. You know what I mean? Like
Money
the
goes back to them.
Division 1, you know, that money could be allocated in any different ways. And a lot of people are like, oh, I'd rather give this to the revenue sports, you know.
Yeah.
That's their money to do what they need to do with it. So, and it builds the team camaraderie too. And you're in like, you know, you find out creative ways to get the message out and it's building you up when you find out it actually works. So, yeah, that's cool though.
That's good stuff. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm watching the time here for you here.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
what do we have coming up next? What should we need to get some new guests to come out.
Hmm. Yep.
So, your new head coach, we were going to try
Yes.
to get in
Yeah.
touch.
We got to get her on here.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we still chasing down Buffalo. Maybe at one point or another, we will be able to get our alma mater to join in on I don't know what they're doing this spring. I haven't been following them very much. So I haven't seen the Instagram post. Nothing's come up
Hmm.
like in my feed. I haven't gone to their channel to take a look at what they're up to, but hopefully they're having a good spring and the Tonawanda Creek is treating them well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to get some couple new guests to come on and
Mhm.
maybe I'll talk to Ethan, the head coach I'm working with, and maybe he'll come on too and tell us about his rowing adventures. So
Yeah, it sounds like he's got a lot.
yeah. He's got quite the resume. So he's
Mhm.
worked with the national team. He was originally out of CRI, lived in Boston, so the whole spiel. So yeah, he has a lot to share. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after the season's over because he is very busy right now.
Yeah,
Head coaching. Oh, whoa, what?
I know.
No, so busy. So I will try to schedule with him so that we have him on the calendar too.
Okay. Yep,
So.
I will reach out to Shelby too.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed this kind of truncated of talk that we had today, but we will be back soon with more. And I'm sure that like people might be listening to this in, I don't know,
You,
April.
I know it might be like prime racing time when
Maybe
they're
prime racing season,
listening.
or it could be like the beginning of May. I could be totally done with without seeing you go far. But all right. Have a lovely rest of the week, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.